Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy interval day. Oh, it's going to be a good time. We're going to work on some different on-the-minute intervals today. There's going to be some different options depending on how you want to take this down and what kind of gear and equipment you have access to. So check the workout. I'm going to have a bunch of variations. You're going to pick one, all right, and rock it for 15 minutes. So I have a variation up on the board that we're going to go through today that doesn't involve a lot of gear, but we do have another option, a couple options that involve treadmill, rower, stuff like that. So check that out, pick the one you have access to and you'd like to take down today. So what we have for you guys today is a plank lean for 2 to down dog for 3 to 5, quad plank to down dog for 3 to 5, side lunge for 6 to 10 alternating reps, single leg RDL for 3 to side, and a Kang Squat 3 to 5, 2 to 3 rounds. Now this opening piece is going to be good for whatever variation of the workout you choose to do today. So it's going to give you a good once over and get you guys prepped and ready. Now the next phase can be a little bit more tailored to what you guys want to take down in terms of work set for you. But what we have here is a heel tap of 10 seconds into an ankle pop of 10 seconds. Then you're going to work on an in-out hop or skip for 20 seconds. And then a plank knee to elbow for 20 seconds. So you're just going to be working through some general movement, working on some skill work for the jumping and or double under work or skipping work. If you'd like to add in the row, treadmill run, stationary bike, depending on what you are planning to do, please add that into the bottom piece afterwards so that you can get some good cardio warm up on that apparatus and use that piece of equipment that you're going to use for the workout. You're going to hit that anywhere from 2 to 3 rounds, then you're going to make sure you hit a few fast variations, just an on the minute to see where you're at, see where your reps are going to need to be, and then tackle this workout. Now this workout is on the minute for 15 minutes. You're going to take down a squat thrust of 5 to 7 reps, and then you go right into some skipping for 20 to 35 double unders, or we're looking at a nice chunk of work that's going to allow you to have at least 10 seconds of rest before the next interval begins. So with skipping singles or an in-out hop variation, we want to make sure that if we have a number of variation that we're looking at, we pick the number or we give ourselves a number that's going to make us work until about 15 to 10 seconds at the top of the minute. So that way you have a little bit of rest, you have a little transition before moving into the next set and maintaining that for the majority of the workout. Now closer to the 15 minutes, if it's starting to get a little shorter, a little shyer in that rest, that's fine, but we want to make sure that we're adjusting our numbers so we have at least 10 seconds of rest and we're not working right to the top of the minute. So let's warm you up. Let's go through this general warm-up, a little bit of here, talk about the works that I have on the board, and then check that workout description again to see where you want to live for your workout today. We're going to be working some sort of interval work today. That was surprisingly hard to say. Pause it, come back to me, and let's take her down. All right, you guys, let's get ourselves moving around. Let's take those arms big and tall up overhead. We're going to reach ourselves over to one side. You just get a little side bend. We're going to reach it to the other side, a little side bend. And we're going to forward fold. Take that body down on the floor, touching those toes. Walk up those shins as we come down, framing the foot. We're going to step it back into our lizard, and we're going to lower that back knee down. We're going to get a little hip love and T-spine love. So we're going to press the hip, and then slowly open at that low rib, opening up to the sky. We'll come back down, press the hip. We'll come back through, outside hand, and then back down, pressing the hip, come through, and outside hand. We're going to lower that hand down, grip the floor, straighten out the leg. We're going to step back into our down dog. We're just going to walk our heels a few times, just making sure we get a nice kind of sensation through those heels, through those ankles. And then from here, we'll come back into our plank and step the other foot up. Nice and square in those hips. We're going to lower the back knee again, pressing the hip down. We'll come back through, outside hand reaches. We'll lower down, press the hip, come through, outside hand. We'll lower it down, one more time, press the hip, come through, outside hand. We're going to lower that hand down, grip the floor, straighten out the back leg. We'll step back into our down dog, reaching through those hips, and just walking those heels down. Nice and slow, nice and steady. Just kind of relaxing curling those feet all the way up. We're going to roll ourselves all the way up overhead. Little reach to the side. Little reach to the side. Come back down. Good. Let's get ourselves fired up. Now, pause the video if you have any extra movement you'd like to take down from yesterday. Maybe work on a little bit of hip love, some upper body love. Who knows? We're going to get you going through that nice general warm-up to give yourself a once-over head to toe. All right, you guys, let's kickstart off with a plank lean to down dog. So I'm going to get myself established in this nice, strong plank position. Hands are going to press into the floor and press the floor away. And I'm going to continue to press the floor away as I shift to one side and then shift to the other side. From here, I'm going to come back to center, establish the good plank, and then pull the hips back and up into that down dog. Reaching through those shoulders, that nice high hip position. We'll come back into that plank position, nice and active, before moving into that next lean. Now with those leans, we want to make sure that we're actively pressing the floor away and shifting from side to side with good control. So allowing that upper body to guide the rest of the body, but the torso is moving all together. So we're not kind of snaking through this motion or our hips kind of going off on their own. Nice and strong. From there, we're going to move into our quad plank to down dog. We're going to hold the quad plank for a couple seconds to show control. So 3 to 5 second hold in this quad plank. Our knees come underneath of our hips and our hands come under our shoulders. We're going to press the floor away. We're going to pull those knees up off the ground, just holding that position nice and strong. From here, we're going to push straight back and up into our down dog, reaching through those feet, reaching through those hips, and then come back in to our quad plank. Pressing through those arms the entire time. We set back up in that down dog, and then again, pressing through those arms, shoulders come over the hands, and then the hips can lower at their own pace down towards the floor. Now with this, we want to make sure that if we can, we're going to lower down without touching our knees to the floor. But if we do need to touch the ground, reset our shoulder position in between reps, please take that opportunity to do so. It's very important to keep the shoulders stable in that nice quad plank as we shift from place to place. Now once we're done, we're going to pop up to our feet and start focusing on our lower half a little bit. And we're going to start by doing some side lunges. So our toes are going to be slightly out, all right? Our legs are going to be pretty wide. And the entire time we do these side lunges, I want you to think about our squat mechanics. So pulling our hips down towards the heel, keeping that chest up nice and tall, and this leg nice and straight. Pushing through that leg, we draw the hip down towards that heel again, trying to stay as upright as we can throughout that whole process. So if we feel ourselves collapsing forward like a good morning, we want to stop our range of motion, ease to that edge, come back up, take it down to the other side. You might find one side has a little bit more range than the other. That's okay, but we want to make sure that we're exploring the range that we have that allows us to stay upright. From our side lunge, we're going to come back into a nice narrow stance. We're going to tap into those hamstrings a bit, into our single leg RDL. Now you can load this a little bit if you'd like, or not. We're just using it to fire up our hamstrings a bit. So our hips are nice and level. Hands are going to be to the front for some balance. And we're going to draw the hip back towards the back wall, allowing ourselves to hinge in this nice forward position. And then we're going to stand up nice and tall. It's very important that we check those hips in between reps, and then we draw the hip back. Focusing our awareness to that midfoot balance in the front, so that my majority of my weight is over top of that front leg. Keeping that focus the whole time, that's going to allow us to really dial into that upper hamstring, lower glute, and really find those positions. Now once we've done 3 per side, loaded or un, we're going to bring everything together into our Kang Squat and work on that nice hinged squat pattern and really work on opening those ankles, hips, and knees. So setting up our position, we're nice and tall. We're going to draw the hips back into that hinge pattern, and then we're going to pull the hips into our squat position. Now it's very important as we push back into our hinge pattern, my knees are soft, but I'm feeling my hamstrings slowly start to wind up into that position. So again, drawing the hips back into that nice strong position, pulling the hips down into that nice squat as deep as we can, and then pushing into that good back position. It should be the same as when we initiated the Kang Squat in the beginning of the rep. So really take the time to kind of feel that out. And if you struggle finding your positions there's nothing wrong with videoing yourself, checking that out, looking at your positions. Does it differ from the beginning portion of the good morning to the last portion of the good morning? Are my legs locking out? All right, so keeping those key points in mind as we move through those ranges and those movements. As a quick recap, we have a plank lean for 2 into a down dog for 3 to 5, quad plank to down dog for 3 to 5 reps, side lunge for 6 to 10 alternating reps, single leg RDL, 3 a side, and then a Kang squat of 3 to 5 reps for 2 to 3 rounds. And again, this is going to work really well regardless of the style of interval work you do today. This is really going to give you a good once over to make sure our body is prepped and ready to go. Pause it, rock that, get ready. We're going to start coming at you with a little bit more skill-based work sets to get you ready for your intervals. Alright, you guys, our first phase of work is going to be to start warming up our ankles. And even if we're doing a slightly different work set, this is a really nice piece to kind of ease into because it's really going to get our feet, ankles, and our calves ready for whatever we have to do. I'm going to bring my toes and heels together. I'm going to turn profile so you can see my body position. I'm just going to breathe my shoulders up to my ears to get some tension here, and then just let it go and let those arms hang kind of loosen dead to the side of my body. My ribs are pulled in so I have good posture. I'm just going to really focus on my big toe, pinky toe, and tap those ankles nice and quick. Now, if I can think about my big toe staying nice and balanced and not rolling out, I'll really find some good balance and some good, fast heel taps. And we're going to do that for about 10 seconds. So the majority of people, not everyone, but the majority of people will really benefit from focusing a little bit more so on their big toe than their pinky toe, because we tend to roll out a little bit more, then collapse inwards on the foot. Now, once we're done our heel taps, we're going to move into our ankle pops. So we're going to bring our hands up so our elbows go slightly back. They're still relatively tight to the body. They're not winging out like so, but they're nice and relaxed. And we're going to work on our ankle pop. We're just going to let that natural balance happen through the shoulders and the elbows. So you're going to have a little bit of give, almost like you're flicking water off of your hands. This is a movement that we don't have to force, nor do we have to fight. Just sort of let it happen. And just the thing we want to control is we want to make sure that the arms aren't bouncing all over the place, but they're just staying in that nice little plane along with each bounce. We're trying to recruit a little bit more ankle and knee to get that natural rebound in our bounce and work on that good jump. Now with that, for 10 seconds, we're going to move into some more hopping or some skip work. So if you have space to skip into your house, or if you're like, you know what, I don't have any place to skip, but I'd like to work on some hopping, we can work on a couple things. Our in-out hops, so working on a little bit of fast feet. You can also do that with some steps, or you can work on a dumbbell lateral jump over, skip, or step over. So working on a 2-foot jump over, skip over, or step over the dumbbell to work on some skill work with that hop and some agility work, clearing that object. Once we're done our in-out hop and skip, or skip I should say, we're going to move into our plank knee to elbow. We're going to set up that really nice plank position, that good strong plank, and I'm going to take my knee to the outside, touching my knee to the elbow, coming back into that plank. Knee to elbow, into the plank. For today, let's try and keep our torso nice and still. Sometimes when we do forearm ones, we work on that crunch. Let's focus on bringing just the leg up and down and keeping our body position nice and strong and still. So it's a different type of challenge, and if your range is limited, don't worry about it, not a big deal. Just take it to where you can and return back to that good plank. You're going to be doing those for 20 seconds total, so just kind of nice and smooth, balancing it out, working on some good hip work and some core work, and really good shoulder stability for what's to come in our interval work set. As a quick recap, we got a heel tap for 10 seconds, ankle pop for 10 seconds, into a skip for 20, in-out hop, step, dumbbell lateral jump for 20 seconds, whatever you want to work there, something for agility purposes and some hopping. Then you're going to do some plank knee to elbows for 20 seconds, and if you're choosing to do perhaps a treadmill run or a row, maybe if you're planning on doing some stationary bike, add that in for 20 to 30 second count, just to kind of get yourself used to the apparatus, get your flow going on that machine, and get ready for the intervals you're choosing to do. We have 2 to 3 rounds of that. We're gonna move into a little practice round and then a nice chance at this work set. So pause it, hit that piece up, get your body one more step closer to being ready, and we're gonna tackle this work set. All right, you guys, we've made it to the 15-minute on-the-minute interval set. The work set that we have on the board here with no gear, minus a skipping rope, we'll say, is squat thrust for 5 to 7 reps, and double under, single under, or some sort of jump over that we're gonna play with for 20 to 35 reps, or a rep option that's gonna suit your needs to get you to that nice top, close to the top of the minute. So we'll have some different rep options for you at the bottom of the workout description, but make sure you're catering to yourself and customizing your number to get you working for about 50 seconds at the most. So we have 10 seconds of breathing and or 10 seconds of transition before the next work set starts. Now, if you're choosing to do this as an interval on the rower, stationary bike, or treadmill, I'm going to have some different options for you for distances as well. But again, same rules apply. Make sure we're choosing a distance or a calorie count that we can work for no more than 50 seconds so we can hit that 10-second transition to maintain that kind of workload throughout the 15 minutes. When I took down these intervals, I had to adjust on the fly midway through the workout and adjust my numbers so that I could still maintain that 10-second rest. I went out a little bit hot and tried to shoot for some bigger numbers in the beginning, managed 3 or 4 rounds of that, but then I definitely had to pull back for the remainder of the workout. So definitely kind of listen to your body as you're going. We always want to have that 10-second transition for recovery before the next round. Now coming back to our work set today, with the work set, we're looking at a squat thrust of 5 to 7. Our squat thrust has 2 variations. We're going to pop our hands down, feet out, feet in, a little hop, or hands down, step back, step in, a little hop. Now, or any combination of those 2 pieces. Now, our primary focus is a good shoulder position. So our hand is stacked under our shoulder, we're actively pressing the floor away, and waist up, we are static and strong. So that waist down, we can move really well and get those legs moving, hopping or stepping. So we want to make sure that our shoulders stay over those hands the entire time. Our next exercise is a double under or a skip or some sort of hop, which I'll have in the workout description. You're going to choose your reps and then you're going to rest, do it again. So we got 15 minutes of work. This is a challenging workout, and I want you guys to really keep in mind that it's okay if you adjust your numbers on the fly. Let me know how this one goes, you guys. I'm really, really stoked to hear about this one. I love interval work. It's challenging, it's hard physically and mentally, but I want you guys to have that freedom to adjust your numbers, to allow yourself to give yourself the dose that you need today. Now, as always, work for quality, have a ton of fun. We will see you tomorrow for a special Remembrance Day workout that's coming at you to get you geared up for our Hero fundraiser on the weekend. Have a great day, you guys. We'll see you soon. Bye, you guys.